made it home from our big 2-month trip, and now the fun stuff of taking care of the RV starts, including washing and waxing it and just thoroughly cleaning it. But one of the big things I need to do is empty my black tank and my gray tank and service those. I've been emptying them on the road, but I haven't really cleaned them out, really flushed them. So today I'm going to show you how to use the how to drain your tank, in case you don't know, but also how to use the built-in flush. If you're not familiar with that, the Coachmen Beyonds have that built into them already. So all I need is a big plastic bag, and this is like if you were at a campground or something, because you got to kneel down by the dump station, and a lot of times the dump stations are pretty nasty. You don't know what's been spilt there. So instead of just kneeling on the ground, I put a plastic bag down, and then that way when I get up, my hands are clean, my knees are clean, and I have a trash bag to put my gloves in. So what do we need to do the flush, the drain? First, my bag, a pair of gloves, and I'll go ahead and put the gloves on. These are just some really cheap ones. It just kind of helps keep the hands a little bit clean, because you still need to wash your hands afterwards. But this will just kind of make it a little less in case you have a slight accident. That way you don't have any like poopy water or something pouring all over your hands. Not that it would be the end of the world, but it'd be a pretty messy day. Anybody that's seen the movie with Robin Williams and then an RV, I think it was called, with the these are cheap gloves, they're hard to put on too. With this dump station fiasco, that was a pretty funny movie for people that understand the fun of the black station. So, all right, so there we go. These are pretty funky little gloves, but they're what I could get during COVID. Okay, so put my bag down here, and back here in the back we have our black tank, hose holder. And I got a pinhole in my hose I discovered. So one thing you're going to do, you open up your valve, your dump station. I got an elbow. This screws in, secures it. Put that on there, give it a little twist. Alright. And then, like I said, see, I can kneel like that. And then down here, there's a cap. You turn it counterclockwise. Oh, and you always want to make sure that your valves are closed too, just in case somebody messed with you or you forgot yourself. And then there's these two little bayonet lugs. They go onto the little posts that are sticking out there. Give it a twist. Make sure it's locked on, because you don't want to have that come off when you're dumping. Now the next thing, there's a little black handle up under here. This is the hard one to get to. And you just pull that out, and there we go. And it's dumping. And you have some pretty brown water coming out down here.
Do I have to show that?
No, but that's okay. You can take my word on it. Okay, and there we go. The tank is now dumped. So, next thing, you just kind of milk the hose a little bit like that. All right. Now to flush the tank.
Very fragrant on a 95-degree day, I must say.
To flush it, there's a hose mount back here with an attachment point that says black tank flush. Just screw your water hose. This is not your drinking water hose either. This is your black tank flush hose. You want to have two hoses for that. This is your black tank flush. You hook up your fresh water here to fill your fresh tank, And this is where you hook up city water. So we're gonna do black tank flush now. Okay, so I have a hose hooked up to a faucet. This is not my drinking hose, and I'm gonna turn that on. And then now, the water's going through this hose into there and into the black tank. And the black tank handle's still open. Very important to have it open, because if it's closed and the toilet is closed, you know, the ball valve, there's no place for that water to go except the vent stack. And the vent stack's on the roof. So if you have that hose hooked up and you're filling that black tank up with water, eventually it'll get into the vent stack and it will go out your roof, and you'll have a kind of like a geyser. I'd call it a poop geyser probably. So you don't want that. But now here we are.
Emptying. Oh.
So now you can see the water that's coming out is still kind of brown. And we'll just let that run for a while. Now what you can do is you can close the black tank valve just for a few minutes, just to let it fill up, but don't leave it closed, because it's going to take a while to build some water up in there. But you can see that right now the water's a lot better looking, but it's still not that great. So I'm going to close this handle just for 1 minute, because I know it'll take longer than a minute to fill that tank up. But we'll close it. It'll build up a little bit of water in there, and then when I open up, it'll help flush it out. So we'll do a little time lapse here, so you don't have to wait for the minute.
Excuse me, Bill, you've got an important phone call in the house.
Oh yes. That call I've been waiting on?
Yeah, why don't you take that phone call?
Yeah, that 2-hour phone call. And we're in Georgia right now. Ugh. And it's breezy, but it's hot. Okay, that's been 1 minute, so I'm going to open this black tank handle back up again. It's kind of hard to reach. And there you can see, got a little flush. And I'll do that again. Okay, so we'll do 1 more minute flush. Well, I just thought I'd sit while I'm waiting for these extra 2 minutes to go by. And just give it another pull and see what happens. Okay, see, it's mostly clean. Okay, so this is all I'm going to do to flush the tank for right now. Alright, so I'm going to close the black valve. I'm going to actually let some water build up into the tank. I'm going to monitor that. I'm going to get the tank about halfway full, and I'm going to put some of my tank cleaner in there. I have some Blue Power tank cleaner. It's a liquid. I'm going to put that in the tank, and we're going to drive around and let it slosh around some. And I'll let that sit for a couple of days. When I get back home, I'll fill the tank up completely, just so everything's coated in there with water, with the chemical in it. And then when I let it sit for a couple of days, I'll go ahead and I'll hook it back up and I'll drain it again. And then once it's drained, I'll put about 2 gallons of water back in the tank so that there's actually some water in there. And I'll put some more chemical in there, some more Blue Power. But this will be my see, how's it look there? It's looking fairly clean. So I'm going to close this off. And in the meantime, I'm going to drain my gray tank. So I pulled the handle on the gray handle. And this is the gray tank. And once it's flushed, I'm going to fill it back up with fresh water, the gray tank, and I'm going to put some baking soda in it just to kind of neutralize any odors that might have came from some food, because in your gray tank, when you wash dishes and stuff, you get food particles and you get grease particles and stuff in there. So the baking soda will help kind of neutralize some of those odors that you might get. So that pretty much takes care of flushing it and draining it. The only thing left to do is disconnect the hose, rinse the hose out, but the gray water tank's rinsing it out too. Put the cap back on it, make sure the valves are closed, and put everything back up. Well, thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.